Are you ready to travel to Escalante City?
And to discover the history of Escalante Hanon.
This trip, we will know the history, experiences throughout the years, important events, and the people, especially places, that still present up to this day.
Maayong aga, I am Jimuel L. Dorimon.
Maayong buntag, I am Rizalyn B. Ortiz.
Kari kita sa Escalante. Did you know the town was originally known as Manlambus? A Visayan term means to strike with a club because the coastal waters were teeming with fish at the time and catching them simply with a club or lambus. In 1860, Father Cipriano Navarro, first Spanish missionary, assigned to the place renamed Escalante after his hometown in Spain. Every 30th of May, this progressive city hosts the Manlambus Festival in celebration of its rich cultural heritage and glorious past, which every Escalante Hanon loves to share and tell. The Manlambus dance showcased the unique way of catching fish using lambus, a playful dance characterized by jumps, leaps, or hops.
Now, let's go back to the Escalante experiences during pre-Spanish era. Escalante was not known during pre-Hispanic era, but on October 1975 and May 1976 reveal an early record of men who inhabited the island of Negros during the pre-Spanish time. Graves have been recovered by anthropology students and by Professor Lionel Chang of Saliman University to be ancient burial in Barangay Hapitana, a coastal barangay facing the island of Cebu. Artifacts were discovered such as celadon plate and bowls, stoneware bowls and jars, daggers, and a hunting knife. The human skeletal remains prove that Escalante was inhabited by the settlers who are engaged to trade and commerce during the ages of contacts and trade with the East. Northeastern part of Negros Island was one of the most cultivated regions in the mid-19th century. On the date of November 28, 1856, Governor-General Manuel Crespo issued a decree creating the town of Escalante and Saravia. The decree ordered that the two towns in question would be separated immediately from their mother town, Silay, although the spiritual separation of the two would await the building of churches and convents in Saravia and Escalante. While the parish of Escalante was established on May 22, 1860. Father Cipriano Navarro, the first parish priest, according to him, the inhabitants of his parish and 14 barrios alongside of the northeast portion of the island speak the Cebuano dialect and Hiligaynon dialect.
Maayong aga, padiin ka.
Maayong buntag sad, ato kog merkado. Under the governor Emilio E. Saravia, a politico-military command in 1859 was established in Bacolod. With 6 towns under its jurisdiction such as Escalante, Gihulngan, Hinubaon, Himamalalud, Tayasan, and Ayungon. 2 more were added: Argiles, or such as known as Sagay, and Calatrava were created into separate town on July 3, 1863. This ended with the division of Negros into 2 provinces in 1889.
In American era, American opened the first free elementary school building in the early 1900s. A Gabaldon-type elementary school building was constructed at Old Poblacion during the term of Mayor Fernando Locot, 1912 to 1918. Municipal Hall in the Town Plaza were constructed and developed during the time of Francisco Ferrer Sr. The Municipal Portal and Rizal Monument was built on September 15, 1955. The American period covering some 45 years except for a few years under the Japanese occupation saw marked changes in the socio-cultural, economic, and political complexion of the area and its people.
During 1942, the occupation by the Japanese Imperial Forces entered the towns in Escalante. The establishment of the General Headquarters of the Philippine Commonwealth Army was active on January 3, 1942 1942 to June 30, 1946. And the 7th Infantry Regiment of the Philippine Constabulary was active again on October 28, 1944 to June 30, 1946, and military stationed in the town municipality of Escalante during the Japanese occupation. The sage of all Filipino troops of the Philippine Army and Constabulary units was found liberated in the town municipality on 1945 against the Japanese. And now, the post-war era. Escalante was divided in two municipalities. On May 19, 1948, President Elpidio Quirino issued Executive Order 141 states that organizing certain barrios of the municipality of Escalante, province of Negros Occidental, into an independent municipality under the name of Toboso, to take effect July 1, 1948. Victoria Bedonia, incumbent mayor of Escalante, hoped to become the first mayor of the newly created town of Toboso, while Pedro Benignos took over until 1950. Then, Evaristo's sons in 1951, he took over the position and was replaced by Amando Tambo. Manuel A. Lopez donated the first high school, or was known as Escalante National High School, and established in 1948. Next, Mount Carmel College in 1961 was established by the Order of the Carmelites. Magdalene Hospital, run by the Sisters of Jolly Postel, now called Dr. Vicente Gustilo District Hospital.
People of Escalante, especially the farmers, suffers in Marcos administration. In this year, the Bloody Thursday happened because people demand for the democracy and justice. The martial law years, there are uneven land distribution, marginal food production, and the excess of the political system created so much discontent, especially in sugarcane farmers. A modern public market, new municipal building, and 50,000 reservoir was erected under the Mayor Braulio P. Lumayno. Welgang Bayan is a nationwide movement called for coordinated protest on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of Declaration of Martial Law. This movement are racing to demand democracy and justice from the government. People flocked to Escalante Welgang Bayan on the morning of September 19th, day one of the protest action. They came from the both city centers and outlying locations. Farmers and farm laborers, fishermen, students, teachers, nuns, priests, and seminarians were among them. Some of the marchers arrived in groups. Others took their loved ones and neighbors with them. Others arrived on their own. Many people packed food baskets as well as change of clothes with them, intending to stay for the 3-day protest. Escalante massacre happened by the second day, September 20th. Protesters had clogged the roads leading to the Escalante town hall. Protesters were encircled by fully armed soldiers, police officers, and paramilitary forces. The mob was dispersed by fire trucks. Around midday, fire trucks vehicles sprayed water on the protesters, but they were unable to break the barrier. Some demonstrators even joke about taking advantage of the free bag. Tear gas was used after the water cannons. The protesters, especially those on the front lines, linked arm and chanted,
Bigas, hindi tear gas!
means rice, not tear gas. They also said to each other,
Makibaka, wag matakot!
Then there were the bullets. This tragedy were killed 20 people, largely by the bullet wounds to the back and sides. Escalante never forgot this Bloody Thursday in its history. Every year since then, it has held commemoration activities for these martyrs to democracy. A monument to these martyrs has also been erected, almost on the same spot in the plaza that had been marked by the blood of their sacrifice.
We conducted an interview to one of the residents of Escalante City. Her name is Albina Patigayon Jimena, was born on March 1, 1927 at Trulli to Mandoc of Escalante City for 94 years. The city mayor that she remembered was Brown Lomaino, Poseca, Barcelona, Montero, and Yap. According to her, During the Japanese occupation in Escalante, there is a war, and she was 13 years old at the time, and she was hit in the elbow. And her brother, named Roberto, was 12 years old at the time, was hit at the chest that caused him to death. According to her, during the American times, the Americans helped to stop the war. During the martial law, according to her, there is a curfew, and people are not allowed to go outside starting 6 p.m. because a lot of armies are roaming around. Conversion of the town Escalante. How it became a municipality. It was created on November 28, 1856. By the orders of Governor Manuel Crespo, with Nueva Sevilla, now called Old Poblacion, as the seat of government. However, the seat of the municipal government was transferred from Barangay Old Poblacion to Barangay Balintawak by Executive Order 301 on May 30, 1958 by President Carlos P. Garcia. After 143 years of existence as a municipality, under the leadership of Mayor Santiago G. Barcelona Jr., Escalante was now qualified to become a city. It was Republic Act No. 9014 stated that an act converting the municipality of Escalante, province of Negros Occidental, into a component city to be known as the City of Escalante. It was signed into law on February 28, 2001 by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo and was ratified in a plebiscite held on March 31, 2001.
St. Francis of Assisi Church ruins was built as part of the mission of the Augustinian Recollects in the late 19th century in the pueblo of Escalante, now Old Poblacion, when the parish separated from Silay in 1860. The church ruins are classified as historical structure by virtue of the NHI Resolution No. 3, Series of October 22, 1991. Next is our old municipal building, built 1930, now turned into a city museum, houses two galleries, archaeological and ethnographic, containing collections from the 21 barangays. It has a mini library with around 900 book holdings.
Knowing the history of Escalante, it feels like we are moved backward. That made us feel the hardship, sorrow, and triumph of the place. Our histories cling to us. We are shaped by where we come from.
Abante, Escalante, masarangan nato, kini!